most of you know about Monday Night Football. Well, how about some Monday Night Basketball at Park Center in Brooklyn Park? We have an intriguing matchup. Of course, they all are, but a few extra degrees are embedded into this edition of high school girls basketball. The Minnehaha Academy Redhawks at 4-3, a bit shorthanded, looking to knock off the undefeated Park Center Pirates at 4-0. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Peden. He is Alex Nagel. And Alex, this matchup, you could say, comes down to pairs. Minnehaha Academy lost their top player, Sinae Hill, to an ACL and LCL injury in the first game of the season. They have plenty of talent, not necessarily the leadership at this point. Gigi Coleman and Bree Foster are doing their best to rectify that issue, but they're 4-3 and have fared with some of the bigger level teams. It's all about finding ways to finish in the clutch.
You know, when you lose an important player like that, and we've seen, as you know, way too many ACL injuries lately, that hurts. I mean, it takes a big piece of your team, of your operation away, and you've got to find some way to stabilize the ship. So this is an important game for them tonight. We've got to see how they come together, you know, shorthanded, and, you know, against a very good Park Center team, that's going to be a challenge.
Gigi Coleman, a three-point threat. Bree Foster, the defensive engine, and Shea Watkins helps patrol the paint. On the Park Center side, 4-0, they had to effectively hit the reset button as someone is photobombing us. Kids, they're always looking for camera time. But that was what I was saying. They hit the reset button a year ago because folks like Bree Foster and Denasia Anderson left after Tyler Coley stepped away from his post as head coach. Now, Lyric Singleton has really come on strong. She's averaging over 30 a game. Harmony Mayberry also having a great run, and Debbie Holman starting to make her way up the ranks. So this Park Center team could be a sleeper. I know they'll have a tough assignment getting past Maple Grove in Section 5 4A, but the Pirates at 4-0, Alex, you know this. If you want to be a contender, you got to win the ones in front of you. So far, Park Center doing that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and this is a new era here at Park Center. It seems like this has happened more than once, but this Park Center team is exciting. It's a new group, and they're slowly coming together. Things have worked out for them so far. You mentioned the 4-0 record. Now, again, you've got a big challenge here at home tonight before the holidays. Ideally, you'd like to get the dub here tonight, go into the first of the year with a head of steam when you delve into Northwest Suburban Conference play.
And given the makeup of the conference, Park Center could find themselves contending for that title. But first, they have to contend with Minnehaha Academy, and they'll do that when we return.
Women's basketball has been around a long time, and we've had so many opportunities, and now we're just continuing to get more.
Susan Shudley makes a great move.
It comes back to just feeling like you're part of a sorority of women. It's really fun to see. There's a lot of pride.
The 90s, late 90s, we was pumping out great women's basketball players. And still to this day, we're still there.
Welcome back to Park Center in Brooklyn Park. It's a venue Alex and I know well. Park Center, of course, several years ago won a couple of state championships in Class 3A. A Miss Basketball winner, Adalia McKenzie, came out of this school, and I don't know who's in the short list for future Miss Basketballs, Alex, but to see what Park Center has been able to do, at least to start the year after having to hit the reset button like we talked about, it's a remarkable achievement no matter how those wins come.
You know, again, like I said, it's a new era, and it's good that the bar is set high, and it should be, you know, if you're Park Center. But at the same time, you know, you have to be a little patient with the young Park Center team that really hasn't, in my humble opinion, really been tested yet, and they probably won't know who they are until they really delve into Northwest Suburban Conference play after the first of the year.
And on the Minnehaha side, Alex, I don't think anyone plans to lose their top player in the first game of the season due to injury, but we've seen it all the time at every level. How do the others move forward when they know they can't rely on Sinae Hill's leadership, at least on the court?
You know, it's a challenge. You know, like we said at the top, you know, you've got two different players out now that have to shoulder the load, not only from a scoring and performance standpoint, but from a leadership standpoint, and that's not always easy to do.
We'll see what Minnehaha has in store tonight. Here are the starters. Minnehaha, the visitors, it's Gigi Coleman, Tasia Van Leer, Shay Watkins, Brianna Foster, and Clarissa Ross. For Park Center, it's Harmony Mayberry, Natavia Miles, Lyric Singleton, Demi Holman, and Coco Tosu. For Minnehaha, Alex, the group you see on the floor is the group you will see for at least the next couple of seasons. Sinae, the only senior on the team. And for Park Center, Lyric Singleton and Harmony Mayberry hoping to get that ride into the sunset, so to speak. They decided to stick around after a lot of the youngsters, including Brianna Foster, transferred to other schools following Tyler Coley's departure. And even though Lyric maybe doesn't have the wins that other teams do, to see her blossom into an explosive score, that's going to get you noticed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, like I said, it changes the dynamics of things as well.
Minnehaha gets the first possession. Here's Coleman.
Park Center in a 2-on-2 matchup zone here, it looks like.
That's Watkins beating Holman down low.
Uh-oh, quick turnover.
Watkins can't get the quick strike score. Shay Watkins, the 8th grader, she and Georgia are twins, and I talked to their mom, Mary. They're starting to come into their own. Here's Demi Holman. She's getting a lot of plaudits as well. The younger sister of Ava Holman, who you might remember, Alex, at Osseo than Champlain Park. Ava now studying law at Arizona. But Demi would seem to have a bright future in basketball if she chooses that path.
I would sure think so.
Demi already getting a couple of years of varsity ball. We've got a foul as Harmony Mayberry collides with Tasia Van Leer. And Alex, amidst all the storylines, I know for Brianna Foster, she played, I think, her 7th and 8th grade years, but is it a little extra emotional when you come back to the school you once played for?
Uh-oh.
Minnehaha with an errant pass. Backcourt violation. Alex, I was asking, for folks like Brianna Foster, Denasia Anderson, who started here at Park Center, is this game a little more emotional for them coming back to where they began varsity basketball?
You know, I think there's always that aspect of it, Mike, you know, and I think that does factor in up to a certain point. But, you know, when the game starts, when the action gets going, it's all business.
Not unlike Tom Brady. Remember those couple of years he was with the Buccaneers?
Yep.
And he got to play against the Patriots?
Yep. Or like when Matthew Stafford had to go up against the Detroit Lions yesterday.
Well, the Rams and Lions both fighting for playoff spots. Actually, we've got a steal from Foster. She'll hook up with Coleman. Passes up the 3. Into a lot of traffic, draws a foul. She'll shoot 2.
Well, so far, it's difficult for both teams to penetrate. So let's see what adjustments get made here by both sides.
And since Alex mentioned the Rams and Lions yesterday, I do have to note this. You're all set. You're going to have a playoff run to look forward to, with the Rams being the first team to clinch.
As you can tell, I'm kind of excited.
My team's going to have to wait till next year. But they have likely spoiled the Cowboys, so I guess moral victory. Gigi Coleman knocks down the free throws.
Full court pressure being applied by the Red Hawks, but Park Center gets out of it.
That is Lyric Singleton. Hands it off to Holman for three. Demi short. Rebound. Ball didn't touch rim, so the shot clock stays where it is. Coleman racing for the rebound. She's got it. Shea Watkins.
Oh, what a
the
play.
Sneak attack. That's Lyric Singleton.
Wow. Alert. What an alert play by Singleton. Scoring that ball and getting the Pirates on the board.
I've seen that a lot, and now Demi Holman gets the jump. And Gigi Coleman reaches her hand into the proverbial cookie jar. Nearly traveled and threw up a tough shot. Both teams with some stingy defensive maneuvers early. 4-2, Minnehaha with the early lead. Holman, another three. Over the backboard, dead ball rebound to the Redhawks.
Well, Gigi Coleman of Minnehaha on that last steal she had, it was a good defensive play on her, but when she came down, she should have held up. She didn't have the numbers.
Bringing the ball up, and again, she will likely handle ball distribution responsibilities. That was a quick set. And there for cleanup is Clarissa Ross. Ross averaging 4.3. Tosu had it. Harmony Mayberry with the cut. Couldn't catch up to the pass in time. Van Leer to Coleman. Look out.
Well, I think the full and half-court pressure that the Redhawks are applying is taking Park Center out of its comfort zone so far, Mike.
.44, Alex. The cheerleaders are going to have to be extra careful down there as that pass nearly bonked one of them. But Minnehaha does have the ball. Foster gets out of trouble. Coleman, the turnaround. Short. Ross again has the ball poked away. And that official, if he looks familiar, that is Jason McGee. His daughter is now at Creighton. That would be Kendall. A three-time state tournament champion. Coleman left alone. Straightaway three is short. Underneath, Shea Watkins.
Ooh.
Minnehaha having a tough time all over the place. Coleman again. Yes.
The bad sequence of events for the Pirates. Not only lost the boards on that one, but three chances turned into points for the Redhawks.
Redhawks pressing. Park Center will get free throws. It's Tosu, who's averaging 10 a game, at least from the data we have. I talked to Mario Reese yesterday, and he said he's working on that. The Star Tribune, Strip Varsity, missing a couple of games for whatever reason. It goes like that sometimes. Front end doesn't drop. That's the back end.
No less. You don't see that on the free throw very often.
9-3, Redhawks over Pirates. Georgia Watkins enters the game. She wears 15. There she is with the ball. Hooks up with Denasia Anderson. Her three clanks off the rim. Long carom goes to Coleman. Now Foster. Driving kick. Coleman. Another offensive rebound. Alex. Minnehaha utilizing that height. And their hops. They had five
chances.
Yes. You and I were on the same wavelength. 5 chances, but nothing to show for it. Now Park Center wants the three. They don't get it. Redhawks ball after it pinballs around. And Alex, for Minnehaha, even though they don't have Sinae Hill, they still have some tough foes. They get Rochester Lord in their next game. They've got an up-and-comer in Amelia Trudy. Totino Grace. They have a couple of big wins as Denasia Anderson scores.
Uh-oh, another mistake.
11-3. Coleman to Foster. Up and in.
Yep. Mario Reese wants to talk about it. Down 13-3 here early on.
And the ball pressure playing a big part in this, Alex. Every time I look down to update the score sheet, Minnehaha's in their face getting another steal.
Yeah. Again, we've seen on the last 2 possessions for the Redhawks, 3 chances on one possession, 5 on another. Park Center's got to make some adjustments here and fast.
But here are the teams they played. Eastridge, they got the win over them. Sinae Hill was available for that one. She didn't get hurt till the last minute of that game. De La Salle taking a step back as they try to find a new point guard. Minnetonka, they could be a contender again in 4A. Wayzata, the ever-burning question, can they get past Hopkins? But they're no pushover. Rochester Lord in a crowded Section 1-2A, Red Wing and Goodhue in that group as well. Caledonia also in 1-2A. Later in the year, they play Stewartville, who could be a force again in 3A. Duluth Marshall, part of a home-and-home. Lakeville North, February 10th. And Crosby Ironton to end the regular season. So, Minnehaha Academy, I don't think anyone's going to feel sorry for them, even though they don't have Sinae Hill, because they are taking on some fierce competition. Whoa. Minnehaha still applying the pressure. Park Center did reach the section final last year. Minnehaha wants a carrying call. Holman missing the short corner. Jay Tosu is there for the putback. Alex, that could be a momentum turner.
Well, I tell you, that's exactly the kind of play that the Pirates needed. Strong offensive rebound there by Tosu. Getting that offensive rebound and getting the putback. And now a chance to cash in at the charity stripe here to cut into this deficit.
Tosu, the freshman. And we've got a young fan who has something to say.
Hey, hi, go Pirates. Shout out Raphael. Raphael's the GOAT. Have a good day.
Thank you. I feel like Drew Carey on The Price is Right when contestants spin the big wheel. 6 on the shot clock on the second chance try for Park Center. 3 is offline. 13-5, still a long way to go. Foster to Coleman.
Go.
Bullseye. Gigi with 8. Park Center burning another timeout. 2 already, Alex, as they trail 16-5.
Again, I think that full and half-court pressure that Minnehaha Academy is using is really taking the Pirates out of their comfort zone.
And even though Minnehaha doesn't have their top player, just about everyone else picked up a lot of experience from a year ago. The Watkins twins, Foster, Anderson, Clarissa Ross, a newcomer. And when it comes to strength of schedule, Park Center not at the same level as Minnehaha. Maybe you wouldn't expect that because, again, they took a lot of lumps last year.
Yeah.
Again, they were able to reach the section final. 5-4A didn't have much outside of Maple Grove, but it did offer a glimpse at the Park Center team that could be once again.
Yep.
Again, it's really hard to have to conduct a makeover from the beginning. Working off the screen, well, that is not the outcome you want, Alex. Miles had a wide open lane, couldn't finish. those are the plays you really want to convert. But Miles gets back for the steal. Another chance. Ooh, Holman needed a little more finesse. Short range, that doesn't drop.
Not a lot falling for the Pirates here early on in this contest.
Coleman with 2 threes, but she wants to go driving. Too strong. Jump ball. The arrow favors the Pirates.
When you're unable to finish around the rim like we've seen the Pirates here in the last few possessions, that's problematic.
And as I was noting, Alex, I think for Park Center, this is a step up for them because the teams they beat, St. Anthony, Tartan, Burnsville, St. Louis Park, wins are wins, but Minnehaha at a different level. So you have to be a little more prepared. Singleton under duress. 8 on the shot clock. Minnehaha staying with that man. And Park Center with nowhere to go. They do not rule it a shot clock violation. They will continue play.
The Redhawks unforgiving on defense.
And Shea
And
Watkins
it pays off on the other end.
with her second field goal. More pressure, Park Center looking for the break. Holman connects on the 3. Shea Watkins with back-to-back buckets. Shea in Georgia, a little bit older, a little bit taller, and Alex, for the longest time, Minnehaha never really had a post presence, even in the years of Addie Mack. The Watkins twins could change that in a good way. There's a bump from Anderson. That's a foul.
A little too aggressive there by Anderson on that foul.
Singleton underneath. I don't know how I feel about that foul, but Singleton gets a chance for 2. We'll see what she can do with it.
Well, more importantly, I think that's what Park Center has to be willing to do here, Mike. Show a willingness to drive to the hoop, to draw the foul, to get to the line. And make it pay off like that.
Lyric Singleton making the front end. Singleton, again, averaging from what we have over 30 a game. I've also noticed, Alex, here at Park Center, apparently a popular concession item are hot Cheetos or Flamin' Hot Nachos, or yes, Doritos. Flamin' Hot Nachos is what I'm trying to say. It's a split for Singleton. I'm not sure my stomach could handle that. Foster, rejected by Singleton.
Big
Those
stop.
are former teammates.
Big stop there by the Pirates. Let's see if they can get it to pay off here.
And Anderson strips the ball from her former teammate. Again, Anderson and Foster started here at Park Center before making the move to Minnehaha. And you think about all of the players that were with Tyler Coley's Park Center team a couple years ago, Alex, and what they've all done. Foster, one of them. Here she comes. Driving kick. It's Georgia Watkins, her 3. Goes off the front iron. And unable to secure the rebound is Kimora Givens. Foul on the Redhawks. But Alex, you think about this, and I'm not suggesting anyone's at fault. It's just one of those butterfly what-if conversations. But a couple years ago, Park Center had a young Jalea Diggs, Bree Foster, Anaya Shafa, Denisha Anderson. We saw what Diggs did last year for Hopkins when they won state in 4A. Anaya Shafa making herself at home at De La Salle. And Foster taking on a bigger role here. Watkins can't score the bunny. Singleton lost the dribble, finds Holman. Goes inside to Kane. Tough shot. Foster brings it up. Stop, starts. And Minnehaha will take a timeout with 7:52 left in the first.
Well, despite some of the miscues that Park Center has had thus far in this first half, they only find themselves down by 11. They're still in this thing, but there's a lot they need to clean up if they want to get closer.
And from what I've observed in this first half, I think a lot of it has to do with comfort level and shot selection. We're seeing Park Center having a tough time getting through that man.
Exactly.
And it's led to a lot of fadeaway attempts. When they can get open looks,
well,
they do fare better.
Right.
I suppose that goes for any team, but Minnehaha just making it difficult.
They've shored up the defensive end a bit. They haven't, Minnehaha hasn't been getting all those 3, 4, and 5 opportunities like they were early on. But, yeah, like you said, they've got to get some better shot selection here on the offensive end. And that, with Red Hawks man-to-man defense, they're making it really hard on them.
And that philosophy hasn't changed over the last few years. Damian Lawler a couple of years ago brought that faster sense of pacing. Of course, Matt Pryor, his predecessor, won a state championship. Damian, unfortunately, let go after 1 year. Kendall Givens stepping in. And last year, you had Addie Mack, which I think helped smooth any transition. But what we've seen so far, and again, with Minnehaha shorthanded without Sinae, suggests there is a lot to look forward to, that we haven't heard the last of Minnehaha just because their best player in girls basketball history graduated. Here's a 3 from the corner. It's there for the Pirates. That's Joy Agechi.
Back within single digits here now. Let's see if the Pirates can get another stop, and they do.
Agechi with the steal. Kevin Anderson, who's here tonight, talks about string theory. In basketball terms, it means teams that score on consecutive possessions. Offensive rebound, Agechi making a big impact in her first appearance. Baseline attack. Pass disrupted. Foster couldn't keep it in bounds. Park Center with 11 on the shot clock.
Still enough time to do something offensively, get a good look.
Miles. That's Layla Mayberry, the younger of the two Mayberrys. Shot clock winding down. They've got to go.
Yep.
Nothing. Alex, that's the second time Delilah Kane has been pinched off late in the shot clock.
I tell you, that man-to-man defense by the Red Hawks, it's been a tough nut to crack for Park Center.
The clock was inadvertently left running. So a few seconds ticked off. We'll see if that comes into play. Coleman, mid-range J, offline, rebound, Layla Mayberry. Mayberry, Kane picks it up, but she dribbled, and that allowed Georgia Watkins to disrupt. Park Center will get it back on the errant pass. For a second, Alex, and again, it's being up here, it's easier to make these suggestions, but I thought Kane might have had a look if she went up right away, made that dribble, and then Georgia was able to come in and stop her in her tracks. It looks like Delilah isn't quite settled compared to some of her teammates. Miles was calling for it, kicks back out, 3 on the way, short. Nobody covering Miles, so she grabs the board. Long 2, won't go down. Dead ball rebound to Minnehaha as Singleton stepped on the line. We are seeing a little more feistiness, a little more spunk out of Park Center, Alex, these last few minutes, but can they convert that into better shot efficiency?
That's been the challenge so far for the Pirates.
Tasia Van Leer underneath. That doesn't go down. Miles backs off. Whoever gets out of this funk first figures to have an edge. Both teams mired in a rut of sorts. Singleton breaks free, fires the baseline jumper. Miles.
Whoa.
A little out of control, it looked like. Redhawks with numbers. But they'll run a set as Coleman backs off and recalibrates. Foster. Van Leer. Now Coleman. Minnehaha trying to find a screen to run through up top.
Yep.
That's a walk.
Well, here over the last few minutes, Mike, this game has turned into a slumping of a defensive slugfest.
I've always wanted a pitcher's duel, or wondered what a pitcher's duel would look like in basketball. Minnehaha led by 11 at one point. Lyric Singleton had nowhere to go. Coleman for three. Off the back iron. Singleton wins the scrum.
Park Center with numbers here.
I don't think they had enough to push. And there's the lengthy Georgia Watkins. Foster. Everyone loading up the top, the perimeter. Coleman trying to break free. Alex, these two have been going back and forth, stuck in a stalemate. No one can break through. Van Leer misses the three. Dead ball rebound to Park Center. Alex, we're in a situation where almost nothing's going right. Open looks, contested looks, it doesn't matter. These two teams are deadlocked.
Well, meanwhile, the good news for Park Center is that they're still within single digits. Get a basket here, get it down to 6 points, you're back within striking distance. So, despite all the miscues that they had early on, things have worked out for them a little bit.
Minnehaha brings the double, forcing another turnover. Georgia Watkins, that's Shea, I should say. One of these days, I will eventually get the two in the correct number and order. Shea Watkins is at the line. Shea's at 6, averaging 7.8.
It's amazing we've gone this far and we still don't have anybody in the bonus yet.
Well, the last few minutes, it was a series of misses and turnovers, so not a lot of opportunities. Alex, I've noticed both sides not able to drive frequently, and that's usually where you generate those fouls that can get you to the line. More press from Minnehaha, and the trap springs another steal for them. Coleman with a slight push off on Holman as she strolls to the rim.
Yeah, and just like that, Park Center's kind of found themselves back at square one in this contest, now down by 12, and they throw the ball away on that possession.
And that's a miscue you can ill afford. Harmony Mayberry was free, and if you put the pass on her, that's a layup. It's like when a quarterback or a wide receiver drops a sure pass from his quarterback when he's looking at a sure touchdown. Minnehaha will take another timeout. 2:04 left in the first.
Well, if you like defense, You like this game. I tell you, the defensive display by Minnehaha with their full and half-court defense and their trapping has really been the difference thus far, I think, Mike.
Minnehaha using it as their foundation when things are getting rocky on offense. Overall, I think they have the stronger defensive unit, and you really get a chance to witness the cohesiveness, the fluidity. I use those words a lot, but when you look at this Minnehaha team, Alex, when Sinae Hill was hurt, I'm thinking this could be a long year for them perhaps, but you can tell, even if they're not perfect, that synchronicity is showing itself with most of these players having a year to get familiar with each other. Anderson rips a three through the cord.
Well, I tell you what, if you can play defense the way they're playing, that's going to help you win a lot of games.
7 straight points for the Redhawks. That bumps their lead up to 15. Demi's calling for it. Can't hit the three. Ooh, that's a walk. Tosu shoveled her feet. Sinae Hill in attendance. Obviously doesn't travel with the team as she is recovering from her knee surgery. Celebrated her 18th birthday yesterday, though. And I talked with Gigi Coleman beforehand. Gigi said Sinae is still mentoring us, encouraging us, and being that spiritual coach on the sideline, which for a woman like Sinae and so many have had to sit through ACL tears, recoveries, and the like. A lot of them tell me they learn quite a bit. Here's Gigi Coleman. She started her varsity career at Southwest Christian before moving over to Minnehaha Academy. And as we saw yesterday, Alex, not even the NFL greats are invincible.
A lot of injuries yesterday.
Micah Parsons, Patrick Mahomes. Of course, the Chiefs are out of the playoffs, but the Packers.
I just think it's, the ACL injuries alone yesterday.
Adrian Peterson all those years ago tore his ACL. Came back the next year, ran for over 2,000 yards. Last touch by the Redhawks. 1:17 left. By the way, Redhawks on a 9-0 run now after those free throws from Coleman. Park Center stuck at 12. The bounce pass a little soft. Foster collecting the steal. Coleman, the hot hand, but she'll feed it to Anderson. 3-ball, long. Singleton nearly couldn't control the rebound. Now takes a spill. Minnehaha with the arrow.
And this game certainly trending toward Minnehaha now. Park Center having struggles on both ends of the floor here, and comes at a bad time now under a minute left in this first half.
I do want to point this out, Park Center hosting a holiday invitational again. Coleman for three. Short. Rebound to Park Center this time. And if I had a live stats feed, I could tell you the last time Park Center scored a point, but they have been stuck at 12 for
quite some time.
The last several minutes. Foul on Minnehaha. That is their last to give. 36.1 on the clock. Singleton swarmed again. And another turnover forced by Minnehaha.
I tell you, that trapping and full and half-court pressure defense is just causing a bevy of problems here for the Pirates coming down the stretch.
When you have a solid understanding and comprehension of pressure defense, it doesn't matter who your personnel is, you can rely on it to generate success. Singleton swoops in for the takeaway. But now she can't get the roll. She was under a lot of pressure on her way to the rim. Minnehaha has time if they hurry. Anderson wants to go all the way. Too strong. First half complete. Minnehaha ends it on a 9-0 run to go up 29-12. Their defense setting the tone early and often in this one.
Yeah, you know, and I kind of think that period of time when we were stuck at 20-12 for seemingly forever, I thought that was the window of opportunity perhaps for Park Center, and they were not able to take advantage to get closer, and now they're facing a 17-point deficit. It's going to be an arduous task for them to get back into this one.
I did say whoever goes on that run after we were stuck at 2012 could have a big edge. Minnehaha riding it. We'll see if that continues in the second half. This is high school girls basketball.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
James, she's in trouble. Finds James, toss shot, it goes in!
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Mike Peden and Alex Nagel back at Park Center with you, where the Red Hawks used a 9-0 run to take a 29-12 lead at halftime. The Pirates scoreless for almost 8 minutes to close out the first half. And the first half numbers, Gigi Coleman with 12, Shea Watkins with 8 for the Red Hawks. Anderson 5 off the bench. And for Park Center, Alex, nobody has more than 3.
Yeah, that's the problem, obviously, if you're Park Center, and they've got to find some solutions to the trapping and full court pressure defense that they've been facing. Get some better looks. You're down 17, your margin for error is very small.
And the tempo, the tone, the narrative almost established from the start. You recall, Minnehaha got that quick score from Shea Watkins, and then right away they get to steal. And we've seen that pattern play out multiple times in the first half, Alex. Park Center really needs more spunk, a little more fortitude, a little more stamina to withstand that pressure defense.
Yeah.
Again, they have a lot of experience coming back, but I think they're getting a taste of what they need to do to reach that next level. It's one thing to get the wins they did, but
right.
We talked about the leveling up.
That momentum is another matter entirely.
And we talked about what that leveling up process is like when you go to Minnehaha Academy, as the corner 3 doesn't go down for Natavia Miles. Singleton almost trapped herself again. Here's Demi Holman, breaks free. 3 on the way, that's long. That was Harmony Mayberry. There was a few minutes in that first half where Park Center was matching Minnehaha defensively. Then the Red Hawks go back to the press as Gigi Coleman outruns her coverage.
What
She's
a pretty
up to 14.
move! What a pretty move by Gigi Coleman on that one.
Uh-oh. Shea Watkins went down.
Uh-oh.
I didn't see what happened. I just saw her clutching her knee.
I didn't see what happened either.
I saw her clutching what looked like her calf. This will stop the game with 17:04 remaining in the second. Minnehaha, I think the last thing they want is another sustained injury. We were highlighting Shea Watkins.
Getting an athletic trainer down there to assist. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. That's a good sign. You know, favoring that left ankle or
I didn't see what happened. I just saw the tail end of it where she was
heading right for the locker room. So
she was holding on to her calf.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to speculate right now, but
looks like it was an ankle injury. One of the coaches is with us and said it was an ankle. Non-contact. Now, we don't know if that means anything. We're just relaying the details to you. But Georgia will step in, and Gigi Coleman on the drive, dead ball rebound to Park Center. Alex, the last thing Minnehaha wants to see is another key figure out with an injury, but it does appear to be an ankle. Park Center missing the mid-range jumper. And Alex, between Minnehaha's injury situation and what we saw yesterday in the NFL and really all around, Taylor Woodson had another knee injury, so she can't play for the Gophers. It's an unfortunate risk that all these athletes, I presume, are aware of. It's not something you worry about, but I think everyone knows it can happen, and you just have to be ready for it and do your best to ensure nothing crazy happens. Park Center, I'm not sure what happened there, Alex, but they looked out of sorts. As we're looking at Shea Watkins,
it looks like she's walking, so that's a good sign.
She is walking without assistance. Again, one of the coaches is up here next to the broadcast booth, so we're getting a few more tidbits, but none of us are saying what the injury is, how severe it is, because we're simply not there. Park Center.
Yeah, it's not like Park Center hasn't had the opportunities. They have, but I'd like to sure like to see on a stat sheet just how many, shots they've had in the paint that they've missed.
Shea is walking into the visiting locker room. Coleman. I'm not sure if we'll see Shea return to the floor. Here's Georgia. Lyric Singleton strips the ball from behind. Tosu buries the three. And that was a bucket the Pirates sorely needed. Minnehaha with the errant pass.
Redhawks look a little discombobulated on offense right now.
Well, you lose someone like Shea, that's one of your interior threats.
Right.
And you've got some players out there who maybe don't have as much experience. Holman stuck on the one field goal. Coleman can't convert the layup. 31-15. That last three for the Pirates broke a scoring drought of about 10 minutes.
Big challenge now for the Pirates here, I think, Mike. Down 16 at the 14:40 mark of the second half. Can you get it down to 10? They can get that deficit down to 10. That kind of changes the complexion of this one a little bit.
Around Park Center goes, looking for another three ball. It's long. Georgia Watkins with the rebound. I remember seeing Georgia and Shea tear it up at the Triple Threat Girls Basketball Showcase a couple years back. Here's Anderson, who steps into the three and knocks it down. Her second three-pointer.
The sophomore coming up big for the Redhawks on that one.
She and Foster played for the Spark Center team as 8th graders. Coleman gets in front of the pass. Bounce pass to Ross for the reverse. That was Gigi with a squeegee.
Yes.
I'll show myself out. Tosu on the run.
Again, another one of those missed opportunities down low that you've got to convert if you're Park Center.
Anderson. Now Holman. She's 6'1" with those lanky arms. First attempt not there. Second try does fall for Harmony Mayberry. She's on the board.
Mayberry's been a hard worker tonight.
Anderson regains control, finds Coleman. Side fade, the three. Doesn't touch rim. Tosu fouled. But the Redhawks do hold a commanding 36-17 lead.
Park Center has to burn a timeout.
Park Center with 2 timeouts remaining. Shea Watkins coming back out, but she's got her left ankle iced up.
Yeah. Those ankle injuries, they hurt. I've had that happen to me before, and they hurt.
And again, we don't know the severity, but even something as simple as a twist stings for a while.
Yep, sure
and
does.
I can attest to that. Played a pickup game once, messed up my ankle. Not too bad, but it was sore for a couple of days.
I did it one time when I was a senior in high school, playing volleyball of all things. I jumped up and came down, and my left ankle buckled under me, and boy, I tell you, I was off the tennis court for at least a month.
And again, we only saw the tail end of it, but in this sport, basketball, how many times have we seen players inadvertently land on someone else's foot, and that messes you up without the proper landing space? That's what ended Nafisa Collier's season. Well, it took her out of the running for MVP, and then it took her out altogether. Georgia Watkins calling for it. Park Center rotates. Tie up. Redhawks with the arrow. So I don't expect Shea to return tonight, but if it's any consolation, she was able to at least get up, walk around on it. So you can only hope that if she is out for any length of time, it won't be for long. Well, Alex, you may remember this. I think it was more of a leg, but Irma Walker had a tweak, and she had to sit out of the Hopkins-Dowling Catholic game as a result. Well, didn't have to, but Hopkins didn't want to chance it, but Irma had a flare-up in that win over Stevens Point.
Yeah. I look at game I covered Saturday between UW River Falls and Bethel. The UW River Falls team has suffered not one, not two, but 3 players so far out with ACLs this season. And now that we're in mid-December, I mean, that's just nuts.
Singleton at the line, stuck on 3 points. And you speak of that, remember USC, they're trudging along without Juju Watkins, who suffered an ACL tear in last year's NCAA tournament.
Yep.
Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd both had to work their way through those. Singleton with the split. Foster's 3 clanks off the rim. Dead ball rebound to Park Center.
The Redhawks doing a pretty good job of challenging just even simple inbounds passes, making life difficult for the Pirates here.
And they've been doing that since the opening tip. And Park Center hasn't done themselves any favors. Another tie-up. Pirates at the arrow this time. And once again, Park Center putting themselves in treacherous scenarios. And the times where we have seen them get through.
Been that kind of a night for Park Center.
Well, I was going to say the times we have seen them break through, they have a tough time finishing.
Yeah.
They're just not able to string it together like they did in those first 4 games. Defensively, they've had some highlights.
I mean, with Park Center, you see flashes. You see flashes of potential. It's just, it's got to develop, and it's a slow process.
And then how quickly do we see Minnehaha storm back after a miscue?
Right.
Or after a turnover, a stop of some kind. And the path won't get any easier for the Redhawks. We talked about all the non-conference opponents that are section and state contenders. Of course, you have to include Providence Academy on that list. Those two are conference rivals. Providence dominating that series. I don't think the Lions have lost to the Redhawks in at least 3 years. But that is the ultimate barometer in Class 2A. Foster for 3, short, and offensively, this game not the most artistic for Minnehaha Academy, but their defense so relentless, so stingy. Singleton finally breaks through and will have a chance for 3.
Again, one of those flashes of potential that we see from this Pirate team.
Tyler Coley stopping by. I'm getting greeted by everyone tonight. Of course, it happens when you've been calling the sport for 20 years. Lyric Singleton converts the three-point play, but a lot of work ahead for the Pirates. Foster called for the blocking foul, and she will shoot 2.
Brianna Foster, the sophomore, has really got a nice burst of speed that she can use to get herself into position to make those hard drives, make those short pull-up jumpers.
Foster is a pescatarian, also plays volleyball. If you don't know what that means, pescatarian is someone who eats only fish and no other meat. The late Prince was a pescatarian, as I understand it. Foster knocks down the free throws. And another sloppy pass for the Pirates. Anderson connects with Coleman.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. That's Aaliyah Robinson. She throws it away.
You know, an opportunity missed there by Gigi Coleman on the other end that I'm sure she'd love to have back. But the more this game is going on, the more I like it. What I see from Gigi Coleman, very polished, real strong.
Redhawks will hang on to it. But you do see where the learning curve is for the Redhawks. I got a glimpse of that against Minnehaha during Thanksgiving weekend, or Minnetonka that is, where Minnehaha was able to give Minnetonka a run. They just didn't have the depth of the numbers to keep up. Anderson's three is long. Kane with the rebound. Singleton gets through a couple of defenders. Blocked by Van Leer. Tasia, what she lacks in height, makes up for in that hustle.
Ooh.
Coleman back-to-back misses. Foster retrieves, throws up a circus shot.
I'll give her an A+ for effort on that one.
I'll give her a wubba, 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 woo, woo, woo. That is not an easy feat to pull off. But I think you see a noticeable difference, of course, when you had a young woman in Addie Mack who did virtually everything for the team.
Yeah.
She was the engine. Rediscovering it takes some time. Addie, of course, having that fabulous freshman season at Maryland, endearing herself to the masses after endearing herself to all of the locals. Three on the way for the Pirates, off the front iron. Pass deflected. Here comes Singleton.
Nice finish there by Singleton.
That layup gives her 9. It may not come with enough time for Park Center. Sonstegard traveling.
But again, you look at all the missed opportunities that Park Center has had. If you could have made a lot more of those, this game would be much tighter.
This is one of those games where both teams will have a few notes on room for improvement, because Minnehaha, they're up by 18 and have a win seemingly locked up, but we saw Gigi Coleman miss a couple of layups a few minutes ago. And how many times have I talked about making those bunnies, those short-range looks? Again, when Addie Mack was here, it was automatic. Sinae Hill, if she were available, just as proficient. Anderson's three is offline. But kind of like what Park Center had to do last year, Minnehaha having to redraw their board, accounting for the graduations. And not just Addie Mack, but Amina Allen as well. She was one of those glue players. And then Sinae Hill gets hurt first game of the year. So this is what that restructuring looks like. It doesn't come easy.
And you know, despite some of the struggles that the Red Hawks have had on the offensive end, I think Kendall Givens and his staff can feel pretty good about the defense, as we see right there. Because when you can play defense and get cash in the bank on the other end, that's going to pay dividends for you.
Anderson with 10. Foster briefly took it away. Park Center has it again. That is a double dribble. As Ogechi
and that's what that pressure
caught.
Defense will do to you.
There's a line that Cheryl Reeve would often mention when I covered Lynx games. If we don't score, we'll make sure the other team doesn't score, in reference to offensive and defensive production. And Minnehaha, their offensive production, they've had some brilliant moments. They've had some not so brilliant moments.
You have to take the good along with the bad. You know, when you graduate a player like Addie Macker.
But the overarching theme tonight for Minnehaha Academy has been their defensive output. They have not made it comfortable for Park Center at all. How many times have we seen Park Center look rattled in the backcourt, or even when they get set? You won't make all of your shots. There will be nights where you can't hit the broadside of a barn. In my case, that happens every night. But the point is, if you bring a strong defensive acumen, that can go a long way. It's a two-way sport, of course, so you would like to see some more efficient offense out of Minnehaha to consider them a front runner, as Tosu makes the dribble drive work. Foster, the fadeaway, short. Coleman leaping in for the rebound.
Strong offensive rebound by Gigi Coleman there.
Gigi, I think, has the makings of a breakout season, if not this year or next year. I don't know if she'll be on the same caliber as Addie. Then again, not many can. That's a high bar to clear. Shot clock violation on the Red Hawks.
Again, that was another one of those situations where you had 2 or 3 or more chances.
But the Red Hawks lose track of the clock.
It's been kind of a recurring theme on this night.
But when I talked to Kendall Givens beforehand, he said this is one stage out of many. He understands we have a lot to replace, and it won't all come in the first game or the first week, maybe even this season. Foul away from the ball. And it's on Park Center. Coleman steps into the baseline jumper. 16 for Gigi.
Nice steal there by Gigi Coleman.
Got in the face of Tosu. Anderson. Yes.
And you know, that's what you got to like about her. She can not only score, she's a good facilitator too.
That's why I was saying Gigi has the makings to be a player, an impact player like Addie, like Sinae. I'm not expecting Gigi to be the next Addie Mack.
No.
Again, few can reach that level, but
and I
next
think,
woman up, right?
Right. Well, I think comparisons like that are sometimes a little unfair too. You got to let Gigi be Gigi. I mean, that's just,
right. I mean, look at Providence, and next year, think about who's graduating from them. Foster. And as we said, Foster, one of those defensive engines. Givens. Another set out to Anderson. Anderson backing off. Minnehaha will work the clock. Not that they're in danger of losing this game. And she draws the foul. It won't be a pretty win for the Redhawks, but I often say the hallmark of a contender, can you win the ugly ones?
Right. That's.
I think if their offense was a little more in rhythm.
Oh.
Well, I'll be a ding-dong-dang. Gigi Coleman. More than enough rhythm for the reverse. And Foster, playing like it's the first minute, bounces it off of Singleton to force another turnover. And looking at Shea Watkins, she is taping up that injured ankle a little bit. Foster again, and one from Coleman. Minnehaha ending this one with a flare, and I was looking at Shea, just adjusting her ankle as Foster goes to the line for a three-point play. She was one of those impact players at Park Center. Now doing the same for Minnehaha. 3:58 to go.
It's been a hard row to hoe tonight for the Pirates.
The key for them, again, a lot of experience coming back, but how will they adapt to these pressure defenses? Looking at their schedule, Minnehaha, perhaps the toughest. That will be a traveling call because Coleman effectively passed it to herself, which you cannot do in this sport. It's fine in the NFL, but not here.
But getting back to Park Center, you know, I hate to use the old cliche, but it's good experience for you. It really is. You have to learn how to adapt to these kinds of situations, these kinds of pressure defenses, because inevitably you're going to see it again.
It's a reminder of where they need to go.
Right.
That's why I think this game is an important one, because looking ahead, their next serious test will be Lakeville South, December 22nd. Spring Lake Park, they're undefeated right now. Of course, kind of like some of the other undefeateds, I'm not sure what their personnel is like. And as we said before, it's Foster. Regains her bearings and gets the Plinko bounce. That puts her up to 12. A little icing on her cake. But I'm seeing it now, Alex, here with 3 minutes to go. Coleman stepping into the three. It's long. Coleman too soft this time. Too short, that is. Cross court, Foster takes a spill. But looking ahead, Park Center, they still in the Northwest Suburban. Totino Grace in the conference. The Eagles got to win over Becker. I'm not sure how that section's going to play out. The Eagles are a little more underpowered without Chloe Nuss, who's now playing D2. Elk River, you figure they're going to be tough. As Van Leer misses the drive. But once again, Alex, whenever something doesn't go right for the Redhawks, they answer on defense, and Van Leer with a baseline form of redemption.
She got made up for the missed layup on the previous shot.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. How many times tonight have we seen the Redhawks get a quick answer after a missed shot or a play that didn't go their way?
Right.
But overall, Minnehaha has that higher strength of schedule than Park Center, where the Pirates, I see maybe 2 or 3 serious challenges after this. And for Minnehaha, they may not have the strongest record, but we'll see if it prepares them to throw a surprise or two in the postseason. Singleton knocks down both free throws. That puts her up to 10. 2 minutes to go. It looks like the backups will finish this one out. A quieter second half for Coleman, but she'll finish with 18. And Bree Foster will finish with 12. Anderson goes up to 14 as she drains the runner. And Alex, I think about the turning point. I didn't know it would work out like this, but it was 20-12 for a while.
That was their window of opportunity. Down by 8, plenty, and they had plenty of opportunities. You know, if you get it down to like 4 or 5 points, you're looking at a much, much different ball game.
Well, what happens after that? A 9-0 run for the Redhawks.
Exactly, that was.
And as the saying goes, that was all she wrote.
Yep.
As we said, the schedule doesn't get much easier for Minnehaha with all of these state tournament contenders. And they'll get an out-of-state opponent as well in Waunakee. They come here February 6th.
Wow. That's interesting how they got that game scheduled.
Well, Waunakee is doing a weekend road trip. They'll play Minnehaha and then Providence the next day.
I see. Okay.
You have to think the Providence game will be a circled one. Pretty much every game with Providence is. Givens, our coach up here, he's pulling for the second stringers. As they would. Well, he's right. I don't even have her number. They didn't give us the JV roster. Liesel Erickson, that's number 3.
Okay.
Well, I think we're going to have to talk to the Minnehaha Athletic folks because they left out the JV roster. Micaiah Etchison to the line. Both teams out of fouls to give. Alex, I'd say the Redhawks have the easier road than Park Center does. But this is the wake-up call that we've talked about. I'm not saying Park Center is overrated, but it's a reminder.
That proverbial wake-up call that Park Center probably needed.
Right. It won't look great right now, but this is the reminder. Okay, this is what the big dogs are like. This is where we want to be. What will it take to get there? Erickson, that's too many steps. What grade is she in? 8.
Well, she had the right idea there, taking the ball into the lane, but...
And I am guessing her experience maybe not as storied or vast as some of the other young guns we've seen, like the Watkins twins. But that is what JV is about, and that is what practice and experience will get her over time. It's still cool, even if you don't get a highlight. Demi Holman will get one more, and she'll finish with 5. It's always fun to see the JV kids get some varsity time and get a taste of that next level. But Minnehaha having to fight through another injury with Shea Watkins, but their defense does the job and then some. They will knock off an undefeated team and go to 5-3, 58-31 the final. Alex, a wire-to-wire win for the Redhawks. And if they're able to translate that defense into offense more efficiently, Minnehaha could be a surprise in 2A.
Yeah, they could be. You know, that 4-3 record they came into this contest with, I think, is a little deceiving considering all the injuries and setbacks that they've had. But they really set the tone in this game tonight with their defense.
They certainly did. The Redhawks, for the first time since the start of the year, get back-to-back wins, 58-31. This is high school girls basketball. Joining me are Gigi Coleman and Bree Foster of let me try that again, sorry. I know, I got the names flipped up. Joining me are Gigi Coleman and Denasia Anderson of Minnehaha Academy. Gigi, we'll start with you. 18 points. You had a fiery first half, and you led the charge for Minnehaha, even though another player goes down. I don't know what Shea's status is, but did that add a little extra fuel? You see another one go down and decide, let's finish this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's every game. Like, we all just try to go out and play our hardest, and I guess that's what it was. I just tried to do it from the jump, so yeah.
What have you learned? We've got our guest swooping in again. He's been photobombing us all night. I think he likes this camera time. But how have you handled your role? Obviously, Sinae goes down first game of the year, and you and Bree and the others had to step things up. What have you learned over these first few games, and how did that show tonight?
Yeah, I just learned that I have to be a leader. I always have to keep my head up, encouraging other people, even if it's not going my way. I'm just learning how to lead other people and, connect with everyone on the team. That's super important. So,
it was 20-12 for a few minutes. You end the first half in a 9-0 run. You don't look back. How crucial was that run when it looked like you and Park Center were deadlocked defensively?
Yeah, I think it takes someone to just step up and do it. And I guess today was my day. I'm always trying to be that person. But, yeah, today was my day. So.
It was also Denasia's day based on your production off the bench. Denasia, you and Bree started with Park Center, if I'm correct. Did that add any extra emotion or feelings coming back to the place where you two began your varsity career?
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of – they was talking real crazy, I ain't going to lie. But we had to just take that and use it as motivation and put it to the game, and that's what happened.
How do you approach a game like this? Do you adjust it, or do you treat it like any other game when you have to play against the team you once suited up for?
Nothing really changes besides, just being more hype and being more prepared for the game. Other than that, hey, I don't even got nothing to say, man.
That's all right. We're not looking for gossip. It's just one of those interesting situations. You were ready on defense. That was the theme, even if Minnehaha's offense looked a little off at times, a little ragged. The defense locked in and sometimes made up for miscues. How crucial is it, and what steps do you take to apply that stingy defense that kept Park Center off their proverbial marbles?
Well, we don't really have no offense if we don't have defense. Defense is our number one priority, and that's like the main thing that we focus on. So without our defense, our offense kind of goes a little downhill. But when we're playing good defense, our offense starts to come together, and we all start sharing the ball and playing for each other.
And coming off the bench, I think you had 14. What do you think that adds to this team? Because Bree stepped up as well in the second half. After Shea went down, you did as well. What do you look to provide when your number is called? You know you may not start all the time, but based on this game, you were ready to go.
My role this year is a little bit different, and I kind of haven't really realized that until until a couple days ago. I had a few conversations about how I need to step it up this year and kind of do better. So I think I'm starting to actually realize that more and show it.
Now, I didn't see any of this in the breakdown book that I bring with, but I'll throw this out there just quickly. Any fun facts or unusual nuggets about yourselves that people wouldn't know if they met you for the first time?
Oh, I have to think. Do you have one?
This could be anything. Hobbies, interests, something that isn't basketball related, something you like to do for fun.
I don't know if this is a good thing, but my birthday is 9/11. 09, 9/11.
Well, no wonder why you wear 11. That's it. You see, I knew we would find something good out of that. Gigi, did you figure out anything?
I just love the beach. I just love being on the water, being warm. So that's what I would say. I don't know.
Tanning's our number one.
Tanning. I love tanning.
Well, if you like the beach, what are you doing up here?
That's a great question. I don't know.
I think you'd be in California or Florida. I thought you would go there.
Hopefully at some point, yeah.
All right. Well, maybe with one of your teammates. Addie's out of Maryland. I don't know if that's prime beach estate, but maybe she could show you a few places.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, before we go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Hi, family. Love you.
No, I hated myself because I be on this channel a lot. I be on this channel a lot.
You're on my channel a lot?
Yes, I be watching it every time you post. Every time you post. I watch every game.
Number one fan.
No.
Denasia, all of these things you could be doing with your spare time, and you pick me.
Well, it's mainly to watch film because sometimes you just be posting games that of teams that we play, so I just be watching and it just be there, pop up.
Well, this is an historic moment. Denasia, I think you're the first player to ever shout out yourself.
Yes, yes.
It's almost like a Back to the Future time warp, and Gigi will try to find a beach for you. Addie, if you know of any, if you watch this, let Gigi know if there are any beaches in Maryland out there. Or maybe, you know what, maybe you go to the Big Ten, then you can go to UCLA, USC.
For sure. Love you, Addie.
Thanks for stopping by. Congrats on the win, and enjoy the rest of this week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Denasia Anderson and Gigi Coleman, who will hopefully find a beach somewhere someday. But until then, it's time for us to beach on out of here. I'm Mike Peden. Thank you for watching.